As I told you, let's go into the explorer portion of it, right, and understand the visually, right, how the blockchain works, how Bitcoin works, and we'll be able to see all the details that we saw till now, in the concepts visually. Right. Let's go to blockchain.com/explorer. This is a Bitcoin explorer. You have multiple explorers, right? You can go to anything. It will give all the details for you, right? You can find a lot of details here, right? You can see that the latest block is 638K, right? This is the latest block. If you go into that block, you can find a lot of details about it, right? You can find the timestamp when it was done. You can find the height of the block. Height is the number of the block, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the height of the block. The miner is unknown. He has not registered anyway. How many transactions are there within the block? 2367 transactions are there within the block, right? Difficulty is the terahashes per second. How many hashes you have to do per second to find this, right? It's a huge number, right? Our laptops cannot do Bitcoin mining at this point in time because it has become so competitive and so difficult. Remember, you are running a race in Bitcoin, right? You have to come first, otherwise you'll be left behind. Yeah. And you have the bits, the weight, and all of these things. Nonce. So we saw some small nonces like 60,000, 12, and all of these things. So look at this nonce. It's about in millions. 417,294K, right? That's how much the nonce is. Okay, which means the miner has gone from 0 to 417 million within let's say seconds or minutes, right? That is very difficult to do in our systems, and this is the reward, right? We call this block reward. Okay, so whenever the miner creates a valid block, he has to be rewarded with something, right? We give him bitcoins. So 6.25 Bitcoin is the current reward of Bitcoin ecosystem, and he has got 6.25 Bitcoin for doing that work and doing the validation and creating the block, right? There's something else called as fee reward, right? That is the transaction fees, right? So whenever you want to send 1 Bitcoin to someone, you can say, okay, for this I want to give 0.1 Bitcoin as transaction fee or 0.2 Bitcoin as transaction fee. That way you can choose what you want to give. It's not a fixed percentage, right? It's like giving tips to the waiter. Whenever you go to a restaurant, you pay the waiter some tips, right? So that way you pay fees to the miner, right? So all the fees of 2,300 transactions collected together is 0.4 Bitcoin, right? So the miner gets 6.25 Bitcoin and 0.4 Bitcoin together. 6.65 Bitcoin is the reward that he has got, right? All the transaction fees goes to the miner only. Okay, that is the concept. Now look at the hash of the block. Look at the hash of the block. We had only 4 zeros. For that itself, my system took some time to calculate the hash, substitute, and everything, right? Now you can see that this, right, this block has so many zeros. It is about 18 zeros now, right? So as the number of zeros increase, you know that the difficulty also keeps increasing, right? When the difficulty increases, you need more computing power that goes into create this hash. Yeah, that is where this comes in. Okay, this imagine 18 zeros, right? The difficulty is so high, and that's the reason you need this kind of farms to do this process, right? So it's a huge investment that's required from the miner, and it's a huge, how do you say, electricity consuming process, right? When you come down, you can find in the block all the transactions that are there in the block. I told you blockchain is completely transparent, right? You can find that, okay, let's go to this particular transaction. I'll go to this transaction. Oh my god, okay. Yeah. If you go to this transactions column in the block, right, you can find all the 2,300 transactions within the block in here. I told you that Bitcoin is a completely transparent system. So let's go to any one of these transactions. If I go into this, I can find this is the transaction hash. This does not have any zeros because it's just a transaction, right? This person, BC1QWQDG, this is the public key of the sender, okay? And this is the receiver, 3HQTB and things, right? So this is the address of the receiver. Okay, how much he has transferred? 0.55 Bitcoin has been transferred to this person, right? And hash of the transaction, when it was done, what is the size of the transaction, which block is it included in, and all of these things will be visible to you, right? What is the fee he has given? This person has planned to give 0.0009 Bitcoin as fees, right? Let's go into the account and check what is happening. So if you go into this account, you can find this is the QR code. You can scan and pay to that account easily, right? This is the address, and he has done 637k 154 transactions till now from the time he has opened this account, right? He has received from others 2.17 million Bitcoin, and he has sent 2.17 million Bitcoin. Finally, currently at this moment, he has 222.89 Bitcoin in his account, right? And all the transactions that he has done till now is also visible here, right? Now, this person, if I knew who this person was in the real world, probably I might make my own judgments and assumptions, right? That's why Bitcoin is pseudo-anonymous. You can see this account, you can see the balance of the account, you can see what all transactions this account has done, and everything is visible to you. But who is this person is not visible to anyone, right? That's the concept of pseudo-anonymity of Bitcoin, right? So you can go through this entire block explorer to understand whatever you have learned and put it into concept, right? You see practically what is happening in the Bitcoin world, right? That will give you a very clear understanding of whatever you have learned till now, and you will understand the concepts even more clearly using this. By the time we spoke, there's a lot more blocks that were added. So you can see within the latest block, this is what happens, right? Let me also show you the first block of the blockchain, right? Remember that the first block in a blockchain is called as Genesis block. Okay, that's where it started. So Genesis block, right? This is the Genesis block of the blockchain. Okay, Genesis block started in 9th of January 2009. That's when Bitcoin became public. This is height 1 because that's the first block in the blockchain, right? And you can see that this did not transfer any money, right? And the reward given at that time was 50 Bitcoins, right? And there was only one transaction which created this thing, and you can definitely know that this person, miner, is Satoshi Nakamoto. Go to this miner account. This is the account address of Satoshi Nakamoto, right? We know this address, but who is behind? Nobody knows, right? That's the reason why we are not able to find out who is Satoshi now, right? So I get nostalgic whenever I see this first block of Bitcoin, because this is where everything started, right? Something called as blockchain and all of these things started. A revolution was started only here, right? So you also go through these things and understand, apply all the concepts that you have understood till now into this and form a good picture, clear picture about blockchain. That will be your activity for today, and we will see in the next section where we will be diving deeper into the monetary policy of Bitcoin, explain what are the attacks that are possible in Bitcoin, and a lot more stuff, right? See you.